This is my one audience member due to complications. We're gonna start the video.
Hello everyone, my name is Daleesa Brown, and today we're going to be discussing the advantages and disadvantages of delayed cord clamping. Now before we jump into this discussion, I am going to show you two images. And as the audience, I would like y'all to tell me two ways in which these photos differ from one another. Okay, so we have this photo right here, photo 1, and this photo right here, photo number 2. Essentially the question is, what are the two ways in which these photos differ from one another? Photo right here obviously differs from this one in color. This one is more of a blue-red color due to the blood, whereas this one is more of a white transparent color. The other way in which they're differing is the shape. Photo right here is more of a curly, wavy shape, whereas this photo right here is more like a straight rope. Now, would you believe me if I did tell you that this is the same exact umbilical cord? Only difference is that this photo was taken immediately after birth, whereas this photo was taken approximately 6.5 minutes after birth. Also, before we jump into the discussion of understanding what delayed cord clamping is, I'm going to show you two vocabulary terms that are essential to understand. First one is going to be the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord is the connection between the fetus and the placenta that delivers a great deal of vitamins and nutrients to the growing baby. And let it also be noted that these vitamins and nutrients cannot be manufactured and man-made. They are made essentially and naturally in the woman's body. Second vocabulary term is going to be placenta. The placenta is a temporary organ created during pregnancy that plays a very crucial role in both pregnancy as well as labor and delivery, and is located inside the woman's growing uterus. The placenta is going to be connected to the umbilical cord, and it's going to provide oxygen and nutrients to the growing baby. Okay, so here's this photo right here I wanted to show y'all. This is a newborn baby. This one's going to be the umbilical cord right here and the placenta. And the umbilical cord is attached in two different areas. One is obviously right here with the placenta, where it travel up, and once again, it is connected to the newborn baby. Okay. Now the main question is, what is delayed cord clamping? According to the American Pregnancy Association, delayed cord clamping is a prolongation of time between the delivery of the newborn and the clamping and cutting of the umbilical cord. As a mother and a pursuing labor and delivery nurse, I feel both comfortable and confident in being able to explain both the advantages and disadvantages of delayed cord clamping. And it's also important to understand that this information is not only important to expecting mothers, but is also important to father figures as well as future parental figures, because these medical procedures do affect both the mother and the baby. Okay, the first advantage of delayed cord clamping is going to be the procedure has positive effects on both preterm babies as well as full-term babies. Delayed cord clamping greatly decreases the risk of iron deficiency anemia. And according to a scholarly journal article published by the Professional Medical Journal, author Saqib Aslam states iron deficiency anemia is associated with impaired physical growth and cognitive development for children. Second advantage of delayed cord clamping is going to be not only does the risk of iron deficiency anemia decrease, but the newborn receives the leftover blood full of those nutrients and vitamins that we discussed earlier, and those are going to be still transitioned by the umbilical cord from the placenta. And this is going to account for a 30% increase in neonatal blood volume. As the baby takes its first breath in, its lungs are going to be transitioning from holding blood and amniotic fluid to oxygen. So it is very important that an adequate amount of blood is present inside the newborn's baby body. Dr. Rab, he is an obstetrics and gynecology specialist, explains that the extra blood at birth helps the baby better cope with the transition from life in the womb, where everything is provided to them by the placenta, to the outside world. The third advantage of delayed cord clamping is going to be it does not cost anything for hospitals to perform. So let's look at this in a different way. The standard procedure following childbirth is that once the infant is delivered, the umbilical cord gets clamped and cut, the baby gets cleaned up and stimulated, the mother delivers the placenta, and then the placenta gets taken to labs where it gets tested on for different things such as medical complications, or if there's pieces of placenta still stuck in the mother's abdomen. However, if a delayed cord clamping procedure were to be given, the procedure will look more like this. The mother delivers the infant, the baby gets cleaned up and stimulated, the mother then delivers the placenta, and this is where it differs. Instead of sending the placenta straight away to the lab, now it's going to remain attached to the baby, and it's going to be put into a safe location such as a metal bowl where it can be transitioned in a safe place. Then healthcare providers are going to wait 5 to 10 minutes until they are going to clamp and cut the cord. And usually 5 to 10 minutes is how long it takes, or just until the cord is white and straight, just like the photo previously was. Although the positives of delayed cord clamping sound superior, the negative outcomes still need to be discussed in order to determine if delayed cord clamping is a safe and effective procedure. The first disadvantage of delayed cord clamping is going to be the risk of infant jaundice increases with this procedure. Infant jaundice is a yellow discoloration of both the newborn baby's skin and eyes. The condition occurs when the baby's blood contains an excess of bilirubin, which is a yellow pigment of red blood cells. Bilirubin is a normal part of the pigment released from the breakdown of used red blood cells, but an increase of this is what actually causes the condition of infant jaundice. The second disadvantage of delayed cord clamping is going to be it can cause an increased risk of postpartum hemorrhaging in mothers. Postpartum hemorrhaging is when a mother experiences excessive bleeding following the birth of the baby. It is sometimes hard to stop and can greatly delay the recovery of postpartumness, as well as cause other health complications such as high blood pressure and even death in severe cases. The third and final disadvantage of delayed cord clamping is going to be sometimes that there are medical emergencies or complications that require immediate medical attention, and this procedure can cause an interference or delay. Now, with healthcare providers and complications, it is very, very crucial for these healthcare providers to quickly get to the situation and assess what the issue is so they can solve it quickly. Both the advantages and disadvantages need to be considered equally upon determining whether delayed cord clamping is a safe and effective procedure. In conclusion, delayed cord clamping does allow for positive outcomes, just like we discussed previously, for both the mother and the baby. Those points including it decreases the risk of iron deficiency anemia, it increases the blood volume transfusion for the newborn, as well as it does not cost anything for hospitals to perform. Whereas the negative outcomes for both the mother and the baby include increasing the risk of the infant jaundice condition, increasing the risk of maternal postpartum hemorrhaging, and finally, increasing interference or delays if medical interventions are needed. So I hope people that are going to see this video, even if it's just a 12-year-old boy, can use this information, stick into the back of their head, and wait until the day that they do become a father, or if their friends become a father, he can know this information, because it is a medical procedure that is not standard and it's not given to everyone, but you can still be given the procedure. Thank y'all very much for your time for watching.